Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Marrakesh. Welcome to the annual meetings. My name is Shailendra Patanayak. I am a Deputy Division Chief in the Fiscal Affairs Department of the IMF. We are thrilled to have you join this capacity development session where we are going to talk about IMF support to countries on GovTech. This is an evolving topic which is not only shaping the current landscape of public finances, but is going to influence it continuously in the foreseeable future. GovTech, or more specifically, the adoption of digital technologies in government operations and policies, holds immense potential to revolutionize public finance. It can transform, if it is its transformative power, if harnessed properly, can allow governments to deliver public services at lesser cost in a more timely way and more efficient way. It can also reduce inequality by precisely targeting the social assistance payments to those parts of the population who truly need them. It can also bolster revenue mobilization at a time when governments are facing fiscal pressures due to high debt, inflation, and interest costs. Finally, it can strengthen transparency, thereby curbing corruption. Yet, a successful digital transformation in the public sector is a very complex and multifaceted undertaking that requires careful and well-crafted strategies. We also need to grapple with the existing digital divide to ensure that the population or the citizens have equal access to digitalized public services. Finally, we have to keep in mind that we have to have a robust approach to manage the cybersecurity risks to safeguard sensitive data and critical digital infrastructure. So what do we do at the IMF to support countries on GovTech? GovTech support has been an increasingly key priority of IMF capacity development to member countries. We have been receiving increasing demand from countries in this area, and our support to countries mostly cover public financial management, revenue administration, and fiscal policies in the area of public finance. And IMF's fiscal affairs supports countries as they navigate this intricate process of planning and implementing GovTech solutions. So let me start with what we do in these three areas. In public financial management, IMF intervenes in four ways. First, it supports countries in improving their fiscal management information systems. These systems are critical tools for the governments to take decisions along the entire government budget cycle. Second, we help countries to build digital platforms for improving transparency and publishing open data. Third, we help governments to adopt innovative solutions in government payment systems. And finally, last but not the least, we encourage governments to introduce advanced data analytics to help them take informed, data-driven decision-making. In the area of revenue administration, IMF has been helping countries also to digitalize their critical tax and customs administration functions. This includes helping countries to enable the taxpayers to e-file and e-pay taxes, and also providing e-services to taxpayers. And like in public finance management, we also support countries in strengthening their risk and data management capabilities in revenue administration, including how to fight tax evasion. So these are the areas we cover, and this CD work, capacity development work, is underpinned by several strands of analytical work. So as you would see, the analytical work covers cross-cutting analytical work, like the recently published staff discussion note on transforming public finance through GovTech, which discusses the implications of digital divide and also how to harness digitalization in public finance operations. The IMF's analytical work not only covers broad policy aspects, like the 2017 book on digital revolutions in public finance, but also talks about the operational and technical aspects, including, for example, how to use mirror data in customs administration. And more recently, we have published what we call the Digital Solutions Guidelines for Public Finance Management, and some of you might have got a copy of the infographics we just distributed, and it's there to take. And this particular guidelines was supported. We are very thankful to the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation who supported this research work. Now, just to give you a quick example of some of the quick examples of the impact that we have in terms of support that we have delivered to countries. As you would see, in Honduras, we helped build a digital platform for strengthening fiscal transparency and governance, which enabled them to transparently publish COVID-19 and natural disaster-related spending. In Senegal, we helped with the digitalization of their business continuity and tax administration, which helped in 60% reduction in time to refund VAT claims. In Uruguay, we helped develop a single window integration of foreign trade, which allowed 35% reduction in the response time to move cargo, bolstering the economy. So, in addition to this, we have also helped spark innovation in several countries. This support has been to bring in the key stakeholders, including from outside, like IT experts, academia, civil society, so that they can work together with the government to come up with ideas and solutions to a very pressing issue that governments are facing. And such innovation events we have done in several countries. And one of the examples I'm showing here is after such an innovation event in Costa Rica, for example, there was a reduction in the time of the social assistance payments from almost 5 days to less than 24 hours. And now more than actually 400,000 beneficiaries are receiving such payments well in time. So now, I'm going to give you 2 specific cases to provide you a little bit more insights to the type of work we do and type of support we can provide. So this is a case from the Philippines. Just imagine you are the minister in charge of overseeing the government budget. So your aim as a minister is to ensure that the budget allocations are done in an optimal way for the priority sectors like health, education, public infrastructure, to achieve the national development goals. And you want to encourage the continuation of the successful government programs and improve as much as possible the efficiency of public investment where a lot of spending is going on. But does your team within the ministry possess comprehensive data to give you the full picture, to take well-informed decisions? So that was the challenge in the Philippines. So in the Philippines, they have several IT systems that cover public finance. Almost 40 of them are centrally operated, and a number of them are operated by other departments. But these systems are disparate, and they are independently developed and administered by different arms of governments, and they are not generally well connected when it comes to seamless exchange of data between the systems. And therefore, it requires manual intervention for transferring data from one system to the other, creating inefficiencies. In addition, these system functionalities mostly replicate the existing manual processes, missing out on the full potential of digital transformation. So this is a challenge. So this is not unique to the Philippines. We see this in many countries. But Philippines Department of Budget Management was rising to the challenge, and they wanted to resolve this issue. And this is where they wanted to take support from the IMF, and they wanted to work on several parallel fronts, including some key decisions they need to take, whether to replace the systems or buy new systems, whether to procure the system from outside or to build in-house. These are some of the key decisions which has cost implications. And also, it's also important to involve the key stakeholders and the users of these systems, because it's important to keep in mind that a digital project is not the sole responsibility of an IT department. So to support the efforts of the Philippines government, we fielded a mission very recently to basically do a thorough assessment of their IT, PFM, public financial management systems landscape, and help them with developing a strategic roadmap, of course, reflecting their key priorities. And this roadmap also, as an objective, included how to ensure end-to-end tracking of the public investment key projects, how to digitalize the budget preparation process so that it's more efficient in a digital environment, how to improve the data quality by bringing in data schemas, introducing data schemas so that there could be automated digital exchange of data between systems. And now, to hear the experience of the Philippines, there is no better person than the Deputy Minister. I have with me Mr. Joselito Basilio. I will invite him to share his experience and his experience in the partnership with the IMF on this work. Mr. Basilio, welcome.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of the Department of Budget Management in the Philippines and Secretary Amena Pangandaman, herself a budget reformer and digital transformation advocate, we'd like to thank the IMF Fiscal Affairs Department and Sailendra for this opportunity to exchange ideas, perspectives, and experiences on GovTech. The slide shows the major steps or stages of the budget process where systems, whether digital or manual, are required to perform PFM or public financial management function. For decades, observations about or assessments about the budget process show that various tasks on public finance are accomplished relatively in silos. Of course, technocrats and officials talk to one another, relatively discuss issues on the bounds of interagency meetings or coordinating bodies, but core regulations, systems, data requirements, and data utilization tend to be designed to work separately and separately undertaken, independent of one another. Budget laws and regulations tend to also be fragmented as per previous assessments on PEFA. As the extreme case, of course, the arrangements results in the subsequent fragmentation of work in PFM or public financial management. Looking at the slide, the challenge is to remove the black lines that serve as demarcation line between functions, between systems, and between agencies. The setup, of course, is not totally bad at all, as it can ideally foster independence and help avoid connivance among oversight financial management agencies. However, reviewing how the benefits from digital transformation offsets the complexities stemming from system fragmentation, data gaps, and consistencies, however, points to the need to ensure greater access by one system to another, and the use of other systems' data to inform better policy decisions and implementation of policies. So this is especially true if we aim to directly relate how budget decisions should affect intended outcomes. For instance, in the Philippines, the government has action agenda items and intended outcomes as shown in the slide, ranging from, for example, preserving purchasing power of households and reversing or addressing the long-term effects of the pandemic. And in the medium term, creating quality and green jobs. The ideal solution is to address the data gaps and give access to all stakeholders. Interoperability and related safeguards, of course, are keys that GovTech can provide once that the Budget Department has started to aggressively pursue, given the measures that were advised as the ones that can address the challenges in the Philippine public financial management system. So currently, the goal of PFM in the Philippines is to address the aforementioned gaps and implement measures that improve PFM and allow GovTech solutions to ensure that architecture and maturity of systems properly address the functions of the PFM along with the budget process. So an IMFTA missions review of the PFM shows limited maturity level, basic or foundational ones, especially with respect to how systems support PFM policy formulation and performance of the work, from planning, allocation of resources, prioritization to execution, and even audit. Results of the IMF review mission, of course, have served as guide now so that realistic and drastic measures can be taken, including the following that are enumerated on the board, like review of the budget process to ensure that the processes and work are digitally oriented rather than manually oriented, institutionalization of data exchange, capacity building, and even start of the negotiations and procurement of the IPMIS and the budget and treasury management system for the government. And going forward, GovTech shall be enhanced or harnessed in order to maximize the benefits of digitalization, directing the benefits and overall welfare to the stakeholders themselves, the general public, and the government agencies who are future users of GovTech or BTMS and IFMIS in government. User experience is then, therefore, of paramount importance. Continued process review shall be made, enhancing the correlation of budgets to intended economic and social outcomes. Following finalization of roadmaps of PFM and digital transformation, GovTech shall be made flexible to adjust accordingly to the needs of the times. Continued collaboration with IMF to ensure that standards are met, including the pursuit or adoption of frameworks that help implement interoperability, data governance, and open data initiatives. The tasks are daunting, stacked against one another, but the journey towards transformation has started with a solid legal framework coming from the recent issuance by the President of an executive order, number 29, and signed in June 2023, mandating the strengthening of the integrated public financial management information systems among agencies, streamlining the processes, data and information of national government agencies. Heavy investments in talent, hardware, software, and security have been underway. Reaping the benefits of digital transformation should lead public financial management towards cross-cutting strategies that will boost transparency, accountability, and good governance. Thank you, and good afternoon once again.
Thank you, Mr. Basilio. Thank you, Mr. Basilio. So I will just give a little bit, very quickly, a context for the next case study on Guinea Bissau. So Guinea Bissau, the challenge was, before the pandemic, they had a manual system for tax administration. So taxpayers have to go through 3 steps manual process, and all were face-to-face. They have to go first to the tax office to file the tax return, then they have to go to the treasury to pay the tax, then again go back to the tax office to record the payment, all face-to-face. When the pandemic hit, the in-person interaction was restricted. So then the IMF came forward to support the government of Guinea-Bissau and help develop a website which can be used by the taxpayers to electronically file and pay taxes. And after about 2 years of that support, that system, which is called Kontaku, is now being extensively used by all taxpayers, and the electronic filing of tax has gone up. Almost more or less everybody is filing, and the lag between filing of return and tax payment through the online thing has gone down significantly, almost less than 24 hours. So to hear this story about sharing the experience of the support, the collaboration actually between the IMF and the government of Guinea-Bissau, there is no better person than the Minister Suleiman Saidi, who couldn't come here, but we have his recorded video. We'd like to play the video to share his experience, and we'll come back after that. Thank you.
Bom dia, ilustres convidados. Antes de mais, gostaria de agradecer aos organizadores deste evento
to tell the people that you remain available at the entrance for those who wish to talk to you and discuss possible cooperation.
A Guiné-Bissau mantém uma longa parceria estratégica com o FMI, em particular com o Departamento Fiscal. Eu mesmo, enquanto diretor da DGCI de 2010 a 2014, beneficiei da assistência técnica direta do FAR na área da administração tributária e quero aqui testemunhar em primeira mão os benefícios do fortalecimento institucional da DGCI. Nos últimos 3 anos, essa parceria tem sido fundamental na transformação digital da administração fiscal e alargando-se a outras áreas do Ministério da Economia e Finanças, bem como outras instituições. O contacto revolucionou a relação fisco-contribuinte, contribuindo significativamente para a modernização da DGCI. Antes, os contribuintes precisavam se deslocar até a DGCI para entregar as declarações e efetuar pagamentos. Atualmente, tendo um dos softwares mais modernos do continente, permite a entrega de declarações online. Mesmo o IVA, que ainda está na fase de implementação, já dispõe de todas as funcionalidades necessárias nessa plataforma. Além disso, os contribuintes podem consultar toda a legislação fiscal e instruções da DGCI online, facilitando o cumprimento das suas.
We have received highly favorable feedback from taxpayers regarding the use of this digital platform. Moreover, Contacto also makes it possible to carry out a range of automated electronic interactions. The first type involves dealing with banks and telecoms for electronic payment, including through the use of QR codes. With this method, taxpayers can pay what they owe at any time and location, including when they are out of the country. Ever since Contacto went on stream, domestic revenues have increased from 40% to 60% of the tax yield and are thus exceeding customs revenues for the first time. This is significant in a country where most goods consumed originate from abroad. And this outcome demonstrates the success of our country's strategy in investing in the digitalization of the tax administration. In 2023, we decided to oversee the transport and exportation of cashew nuts, our major commodity, using Contacto. The system allows for electronic filing and payments from rural areas and is connected to the weighing facilities at the port of Bissau. And this ensures that we have remote control around the clock. We are well aware of the opportunity for digital transformation which this platform represents. Accordingly, we are organizing a competitive process to hire IT personnel for the DGCI so that we can achieve greater autonomy in maintaining and developing future contact models. Given that the IMF has delivered to us all the source codes for the IIT programming. Last but not least, we have made major headway with the partnership between the Ministry of Finance and the IMF, which has been crucial to the development of Guinea Bissau.
So I would like to thank Minister Suleiman Saidi. So in conclusion, what I can say that the key takeaway from all of this is that digital transformation of public finance shouldn't be seen simply as an IT initiative, but rather as a tool to modernize government operations and accompanied by required institutional reforms and re-engineering of business processes of revenue administration and public financial management. So there is a lot that remains to be done, but IMF here is to help countries in collaboration with other development partners to enhance their GovTech capacities. And we have shared here a couple of good examples, and I'm sure much more are likely to come in the future. So since we do not have enough time now for the round of questions, we'll be happy to take your questions when we go out, and please feel free to take a copy of the digitalization guidelines, which we have developed with the help of Bill and Melinda Foundation. And thank you so much, all. Thank you so much. One more announcement. There is another capacity development session coming up, so you may want to stay, which will be on climate and environmental statistics. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, there? Okay.
I tried to skip.
Yeah.
The ones I planned to skip, I wasn't able to skip. So.
It's okay.